Hello and welcome to my latest video on BNT guitars. Get some brand new tones, so that's the plug out of the way. What I want to speak to you about today is a little project I've been working on with regards to this bad boy. Now I'm not actually talking about the SE Custom 24. It's a guitar everyone knows is really good. There's a million videos on it out there, so there's no real point in that. What I am coming to talk about is these two pups here. Now these two were taken off of a Ibanez Prestige SV5470 that I had. I was really looking around for a guitar that I could do downer bends without an actual Floyd Rose type bridge, and that had the synchronized ZR. It was really cool, but it just wasn't for me in the end. It was really well built. It was amazingly built, to be fair. Great options and touches to it, but I just realized I don't do well with a 25.5-inch scale. Grew up Les Pauls, things like that. The PRS itself offers a nice in between, which gets the snap that you kind of expect from Strats. But harking back to the Ibanez, what it had was what they call a true single coil split, where it's basically had two magnets stacked one on top of the other that ran in parallel, I believe, to create a single coil sound when split, and when not, it was the two humbuckers side by side. It used a blend of Alnico and ceramic magnets, and I'm not going to get into the debate of Alnico 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ceramics. You know, the higher you go, the colder it is. It's all personal preference. What I will say is I do like the clarity that Alnico 5s and ceramics give. I play a lot of kind of hard rock, a lot of metal and gain, so the gain's quite high and it creates that kind of cuts through the mix quite well. And these pickups are actually a blend of 5 and ceramic, so they did offer a nice tone. The problem is they were in the 5470, and that is a really thin guitar. It's about it's about an inch thick at its thickest. We all know the SA and the SV, they are really thin. Pitched jazz sometimes, but mostly kind of almost as fast as kind of speed metal. And the issue that comes with that then is there's not a lot of sustain. The pickups themselves, I think, were attributed to this, but I took those pickups out and I got a local guy to put DiMarzio's in, and this guy was Dave Durnley in Cardiff. Anyone in the area knows that he was a bit of a ledge in terms of guitar works. He's retired now and makes guitars out of old church benches and things like that. But it even flummoxed him a little bit, and I got the pickups and they've just been sat there for a long time, and then I picked this up for a bargain, and it had the stock and it had a dime bucker in the bridge, which is a ceramic, and I'm really impressed with the kind of harmonics and clarity that came with it. So I had a little brainstorm. I sold that pickup off, took the stock out, and then I thought, right, I'm sticking these True Duos in. Took a long time because there's very little information out there really in terms of how these things are wired and the color codes, so I'll put a little picture up because I had to do a lot of investigation in terms of polarities, you know, ins and outs of the wires, and it's very strange wiring colors. So put all that together and finally figured out what I was going to do with it. The way I wired this now is that each pickup runs through in series. So in the single coil you are getting at 10 around about 12k in terms of output, and when you throw it into humbucker mode that like jumps up to 21, 22, which, as we all will probably agree, is a bit mental. What I did is we got the brain freeze. We got the treble bleed in the volume. So what I've done is now, if I roll this down to a 6 or 7, when you look at the logarithmic curve, that actually drops it down to around 50% something like that. So in humbucker mode, we're now running at around about 12k. When you split it, that drops it down to kind of 7 range. All depends on where the volume is, but it actually creates a real kind of punchy, wide, versatile tone of the pickups without just overdriving far too quickly. What I like to actually do now is, the way I view it is that around about 7 is my standard playing output, and because these are Ibanez pickups, what I the way I view it now is if I roll this up to 10, it gives me a boost in volume and output, which I like to attribute to something quite similar to having like a tube screamer or a kind of overdrive pedal that you've kind of set to a bit of boost and a bit of gain, just to kind of cut through and push through when it comes to solos and stuff like that. So the way I view it in my brain, the way I justify it, is that I've created like an onboard boost basically without any kind of battery requirement. People do still have that opinion that ceramics Alnico 5s are too bright, too sparkly, but I found this really interesting little secret device. There's this button called tone knob, and at 10 everything's letting everything through, so it's quite trouble. But what you do is just roll it back a little bit and it takes that top end out. So if ever you're worried about pickups being too bright or your setup sounding too bright, just try this little magical trick. It works a treat. And my brain's gone frozen again. Yeah, so I've done a couple of little demo tones for this, working through the bridge to neck, split and full output, 7 and boost, or as the Aussie guy calls, beast mode activated, and then I'll do a quick little roundup at the end of it. Single pearl. A little bit of grit. So that was a couple of tones, probably one for a bit longer than I'd expected. Apologies for the quality of the playing. Like I said, at present I'm just like a bedroom rocker. This was my second ever video up, and it's also my second time using the recording equipment I've got, using Waveform to record, using Lightworks to kind of put it all together. So I hope that it's a step on from the last video, and hopefully the next one will be a step on again, where I want to take this guitar, so we know all the tones come from this guitar, and then I want to run it through a overdrive pedal that I've built, just to kind of give that its own demonstration. So hopefully see you then. Cheers. Ta-ra.